Okay, I just got this Hatfield Camo. Gonna unbox it here. Taped it up. Still in the plastic. And let's see. Well, it don't look too bad. Have to cut that off of it. I think I noticed. Going to have to put a sling swivel in here, and looks like I'm going to have to put one in here. So I'll cut the strap. Take this trigger. Comes with a trigger guard. So cut the strap. Take trigger guard off. Now look in the box here right quick. First, what we got here, there's a manual and the key for the trigger, and used to be the choke tubes and choke tube wrench. There's the tubes. Yep. They're identified with the mark with a little slot instead of numbers. Yeah, so that would be full choke there. This is being improved, so the one in the barrel must be modified. Comes with 3 chokes. Okay, got it unboxed, unwrapped. Thing I'm noticing here though, is very hard. Very hard to pull the bolt back. Very hard. Probably might take a little break-in time. That's very hard. That's just a rubber protector. Okay, this is the reason I got the camouflage one, is because I had already put this tape on this other Hatfield. This isn't tape, this is the stuff that's like Band-Aids. You just wrap around it. It camouflages it up. So when I saw the camo one, I thought, well, that might work a little better. Don't have to worry about it, because this you got to take off to protect the barrel. I already have choke tubes that'll work. So right now I'm going to take them apart, and it looks like they're the same gun basically. But I'm going to take apart, disassembly them, and see what we find on the difference of them. As you can tell, this one's holding up really well. The wood's still in real good shape. Haven't had any problems with the forearm breaking or splitting. I did change this design here and put a straight screw in one instead of the swivel that I had on there that I did in that video. That's what I'm going to do on this one. I'm going to put the same one in there. Okay, comparison between the two of them. Looks like we have an entirely different system going on here. This has extra to it. There's nothing on this one coming out. This I see unscrews, and then this all the way unscrews off of it. They look the same as far as length of tubes. This is shorter here. This is a one-piece design. This looks like it's a 2-piece design, so you have one piece here. Clearly looks like it's stainless tube all the way. The bolts look the same as far as exterior, and the triggers look the same. So I think we're dealing pretty much with the same gun, just in a camo pattern here with a different feature on this right here. Alright, pull the bolt back, set that up here on its end. That unscrews here, slides up, and we'll have to continue unscrewing to get that off. just slides off. The old model, once you reach that point and you pull the bolt back, it just comes out. And the barrels appear to be the same. This appears to be the same. It just has this extra feature right here. And that's the low pressure piston. Okay, just checked. It only has the one piston that comes with it, but reading the instructions I see that this here is a gas valve assembly. So what this would be a regulator of the gas pressure. So if you're shooting a heavier load, it would still only put out the same pressure as maybe a lighter load, would be my guess, without going further into looking into it. But therefore you only need one piston. So you should be able to shoot the light 2 3/4 up to the heavy 2 3/4, 3 inches ones, and not have any issues with it. So that would be a gas check valve is what that would be inside there. Okay, going to do a check on the problem I had with the other one. I'm going to first look at this here and see how this is doing. This is a spent shell. Go in there and give me a hard time coming out, because that one barrel gave me the problems. Get this thing. It looks like a good fit. I don't see the rim issue like I did see on the other one. So I think I'll be okay there. That was nice. Low brass. If it won't cycle low brass, it won't cycle anything. That's nice. This is with the lightest load that I can find on this. I'm going to see what it does. I have pre-shot it and it did mess up. Not on the light loads, but I'm going to try to duplicate that here in a minute. But I do want to see what these light loads are going to do, because this is the absolute lightest load that I could find. They're 1 ounce shot and they're going 1140, something like that. Did not shoot it, but it did cycle. So they're not cycling the light loads. I'll go ahead and shoot it. Ugh. Gun jam. Got to see what's cooking with that. Holy. Well, it's not the piston. Okay. Now it's opening up. There we go. I still got one shot in there. It wasn't the piston. I thought the piston might have messed up here. This is what was making the gun not cycle at all. The cheap Winchester. Fiochi 1 ounce cheap super lights. 1140, something like that. Let's see what they do. And there you have it. And this has only been 10 minutes since I shot the first round, and it didn't work, and now it just did. So maybe when I took this apart a while ago and looked at it, maybe something was cocked or something, or maybe it was just not functioning right. Anyway, it's warmed up now. I can feel the heat in the barrel, and that was also through that choke tube. So now it makes me wonder, did the choke tube help on the gas? We're going to find out, because I'm going to switch choke tubes. Okay, and now I'm going to go try it again with a different choke tube now. Obviously didn't make a difference, so maybe it just needs to get broke in. This is a Winchester 1 1/8. This is just your standard AA target load that you'd shoot during a trap shoot or something. It's 1 1/8. Did not cycle, and that's good. It is not cycling the light loads. That's not good. Not a 1. That's not good. My other SAS cycles them. This is crazy. So that's the light target loads. I'll try. I know it'll cycle the other ones, the heavier ones than this. Winchester 1 1/8 number 2 steel. Sweet on the heavy stuff. I go for a mid-range one. Winchester AA trial. This is a next grade up on the Winchester AA. This is still an 1 1/8, but it's a 3 dram equivalent, and we'll see what it does. I worked myself up. This is the heavy loads. This is a heavy load, and I shot these the other day. These 3-inch Kent's fast steel. This is also the one that it messed up on. Let's see what it does. Worked that time. Ouch. But it cycles the heavy stuff. That's good. And shooting this and patterning this, it just screwed up like it did the other day. I went back to shoot the 1 ounce Fiocchi rounds, and believe it or not, a 1 ounce did that. And here's what it's doing right here. If you can see this, this ring pops off. I don't know how close you can see it. I'll do a better picture later. Okay, look at here what it's doing. See if I can get some light on this thing. The ring has slipped off out of the groove, and when it slips up out of the groove like that, well, it stops. The gun stops functioning. Gas gets underneath this. It's round, and gas goes in at a pressure and gets absolutely just goes right underneath this ring and flips it up. So gotta get over here. So I'm just going to take it off and shoot it without it, and it'll actually perform still on the Magnum loads, because that's what the other model does. It has a sleeve that has no ring on it at all. And I'm going to try this on light loads, because if it'll shoot light loads without this ring, then I'm good to go. So I've taken the ring off. Let's just see what it does. Yeah, it didn't cycle it. So it needs the ring, needs closure to cycle. Got this on a white background so that I can show you what I think is going on here. If you notice right here, the angle of this one is cut at an angle going down. This one's also cut at an angle, but it goes up. What's happening is the gas is getting under this ring. it's going under it, and it's causing it to lift up. So this right here may actually be a variable to allow the gas to push against it. What happened was the gas would come in here and it didn't lift it. It's hard to say. I want to file that down, and I'm going to put an angle going this way, and this one's going this way. Create a V shape between the two. So any pressure would be a downward pressure on this ring rather than a lifting pressure. Because that's what happened is the ring lifted up, lifts up out of the groove, and stops. It's also very tight, very tight in here, in where it goes. And like checking a ring gap on a piston, I'm going to also check the gap on it, because I don't want any outward springing pressure or gas pressure, anything that would allow that to spring out of the sleeve or out of position. As you can tell, the ring gap closes when it's in the cylinder. So when I do this, it'll create a little bit more of a space between there, which I can understand they've got it cut maybe to keep that gap closed, but it may be too tight and at the wrong angle. Okay, here's what I've done. See the shiny there where I actually ended up using the grinder to grind this part and this one on this side. So I have one on each side of this gap. And along with, if you look, you can see a little notch here and a little notch there. The idea behind that is for the gas to push down when it's going through here to keep from catching this and opening it up. Because once this gets opened up, it's going to fly off this piston. It's going to fly back in here, or completely off of it like it did the first time. This ring actually flew completely off this piston the first time it messed up. So this bevel will now face towards the gas. The gas will come in, hit this angle. It'll hit this angle and push down on this ring. And these other two little notches will, any gas that does come through there will also push down. There you go. You can see the ring gap and where I filed right there. Now is the gas to push, go through here. This will close when it gets in there. Gas will push and go through here and push down on these ring ends. And it actually made the sleeve a little bit looser, which is what it should be, because it was so tight I couldn't hardly move it. That means that this ring is so tight, it's wanting to spring out even before the gas hits it. So I'm going to see if this gas will push down on this. And while I'm working on it, I filed the front of this right here. This had machining ridges in it. I think that's part of what was causing the hang up, because when the bolt comes back, the bolt hits this, and if there's any ridges on here, so what I did is I took a file and I filed it off and made it smooth, and then I wrapped the file and polished it up. Okay, you recall I had that issue? Now look at that. Polishing that hammer got rid of that hang up on that bolt. It's been raining. See how it does.
Those were the light loads. This is after I've fixed the ring on this. It's been raining today, not as good as it was yesterday. Been shooting this gun. What I did the same thing. I shot it and I let it cool off, just like yesterday. And yesterday, that's when the ring blew out. This has been working great. A little ring modification might be the answer to making this gun function like it should. Okay, it started raining on me. I had to stop. I fired some shots. I wanted to see how it was doing, but as you can see, the gas is going by where it's supposed to. You can see by the shiny there on the ring that it's, get this thing focused here. There we go. You can see the shiny on the ring where it's making contact all the way around, except there where I ground it, and there where I ground it, and the tips of each end is making contact. This hasn't messed up yet, shooting everything. Those worked all right because they're high velocity. The others are real low velocity. And those were only 7/8 ounce shells. Well, that's all the testing I'm going to do on this gun. I don't really need to do any more. It's doing the 7/8, which is fine. I can use that during dove season. Quail, I can use it on quail. The 7/8 high velocities does just fine. Started shooting the Fiocchi again. Maybe the gun, again, maybe it does need to just get broke in a little bit longer. The Winchester stuff, that's an ammo problem. That's not a gun issue. So this gun will cycle everything from 7/8 all the way up to the heavy 3-inch magnums. It's going to handle the goose rounds just fine. Turkey rounds, it handles great. All your mid-ranges, I didn't have any problems with it. The ring hasn't blown out. Haven't had any issues with the ring anymore. Gun problem is solved.